Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. In this video, I want to emphasize that we give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone because of the time, effort, and energy they put into this ministry. You know, if it wasn't for them, a lot of us wouldn't be out here in the highways and hedges. There wouldn't be anybody out there heralding the return of Yahweh Shai, and the elect wouldn't be sealed because the elect has to hear this message. So someone has to do the work and put in the time and effort that the apostles actually did for this word to actually be established. And that's what we give them double honors. You know, a lot of the things that we hear the apostles have gone through is for edification, because we could put ourselves in those situations. You know, we see all these countless years when they're out in the highways and hedges, how they conducted themselves, how they broke down the scriptures, so that we are able to break down the scriptures and continue in the doctrine. But I'm going to read this again in 1 Timothy 5:17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. And you got in these last days scoffers, scorners, even people having itching ears who are turning away from the apostles of Great Millstone, making up their own damnable heresies. Well, as the scripture says, continue in what you have learned. And so if you're coming into this ministry and you hear what the apostles of Great Millstone speak, and you don't continue in what they've taught, well, you're ultimately breaking a commandment that the scriptures speak about. And the apostles of Great Millstone, you know, they go into a lot of edification, secular history, the etymon of words. You know, all they do is pump out edifying information on their YouTube channels. You know, and it's all these people who are hearing this. They're actually hearing the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, and they're continuing in that tradition that Yahweh Shai emphasized to Peter. And so this is in John 21, and I'm going to start at verse 17, but this is when he emphasized this to him 3 times to feed his sheep. So in verse 17, he saith unto him the 3rd time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? And Peter was grieved because he said unto him the 3rd time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. And Yahweh Shai said unto him, feed my sheep. And so this is a commandment that the disciple at the time, Peter, practiced in the book of Acts when they became apostles. And this word was going to be preached all throughout the 4 corners of the earth, so that the hopeful elect, whithersoever they're scattered, hear this message. And that's one of the things, an accolade, if you will, that Great Millstone has accomplished. You know, because all of our videos have gone out throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Like the apostles have said, you know, that the GMS has gone global. You got GMS camps in pretty much the 4 corners of the earth pushing out this doctrine and the vibration that Great Millstone brings along with it, which is the MOTB, and like I said recently, the emphasis and the etymon of words, and how we could prove the scriptures with secular history. None of us would have been where we are today if it wasn't for the time and effort and the motivation that the apostles of Great Millstone did for this ministry. You know, and they really fulfilled this commandment to the T. You know, feed my sheep. You know, and that's what we do here at Great Millstone, is we make sure and tend to the flock, that we're doing the right thing and eating that good edification. And so I'm going to read this here in Luke 10:16. He that heareth you heareth me, and he that despiseth you despiseth me, and he that despiseth me despiseth him that sent me. And this is really going into people who they come into this ministry, join GMS, but then they get itching ears and they listen to a different spirit, or they want to become esteemed trying to get a better rank and make their own congregation, make their own ministry. Well, they ultimately are not continuing in what they were taught. They're going into a completely different spirit, because you can see that the apostles of Great Millstone are moved by the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because we actually go into the testimony of Yahushai, the spirit of prophecy, going into all these things. You can't really say that you learned like the doctrines of the MOTB all on yourself. You have to have accounted that to someone in GMS. It was either the apostles of Great Millstone or one of the elders of Great Millstone who ultimately cut that information and the breakdown and how to preach it by the apostles of Great Millstone. So you're really hearing the vibration of Yahushai through these men from Great Millstone, from the least to the greatest. And that's something too, like with these people, when they leave the camps, they come off with a whole bunch of scoffs and whatever, but none of these things actually fit the scriptures that they're trying to discredit us for. Because all throughout the scriptures, you read about how Yahushai dealt with camps. He dealt with people teaching other people, like what I read with what he emphasized with Peter. And this is one of the points, an example, in the book of Acts 8:31. And I'm actually going to read a little bit up. I'll start here in verse 27. Or I'll start at verse 26. It says, And the angel of the Lord spake unto Philip, saying, Arise, and go toward the south unto the way that goeth down from Jerusalem unto Gaza, which is desert. And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, a eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship. And right here, if you go into the understanding that we teach here in Great Millstone, you know and understand this was an Israelite foreigner who resided in Ethiopia and gained a big status, a very important job, a treasurer in the Ethiopian hierarchy, or where the queen of Ethiopia would have somebody be her treasurer. And in the book of Daniel, you see that the Israelites are people who are able to do these things, and govern also when we're under rulership of other heathens. But he came to worship at Jerusalem, because by law you're supposed to come to the land for the Passover and worship. And so you get that information with Great Millstone. You go precept upon precept, so you get that full understanding of really what's really taking place in this precept. But Philip, he was sent to go down here, and he encountered this Ethiopian who was a treasurer in the Ethiopian kingdom. But in verse 28 it says he was returning and sitting in his chariot reading Isaiah the prophet, which is the scroll of Isaiah. In verse 29, then the Spirit said unto Philip, Go near and join thyself to this chariot. And Philip ran thither to him, and heard him read the prophet Isaiah, and said, Understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, How can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. The place of the scripture which he read was this: He was led as a sheep to the slaughter, and like a lamb dumb before his shearer, so opened he not his mouth. And so this is an Israelite foreigner, living in the Ethiopian kingdom, and he was talking to Philip, and he says, because he can't understand the scroll that he's reading, the scroll of Isaiah, and he says, how can I except someone teach me? So the scriptures, lays it out plainly that you need a person with authority and rank in this ministry, moved by the Spirit, to be able to break these things down to you. And I'm going to read this also in the book of Sirach and finishing it off. Let me see, I'm going to start at this is the book of Sirach 8, and this is in verse 7. It says, let's talk at verse 8. It says, despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve great men with ease. And that's why when we look up to the apostles of Great Millstone, we're seeing men who have experience in this ministry, who have experience being born again in Yahushua HaMashiach, actually putting in this work. You know, you go to any job, any type of thing, you look at a person who's done that for a long time so that you can learn from him, you know, because he's got that experience under his belt. You know, and it's no different in Yahushua's ministry. So, you know, we're not supposed to, you know, just think just because these are old people that we just disregard what they have been through or what they say or how they teach. You know, there's a reason why they're in the positions that they are in. I'm going to read that from the top again. It says, despise not the discourse of the wise, but acquaint thyself with their proverbs, for of them thou shalt learn instruction and how to serve great men with ease. Miss not the discourse of the elders, so they also learned of their fathers, and of them thou shalt learn, understanding and to give answer as need requireth. And the apostles of Great Millstone, you know, because they've been around other people like King Maisha, High Priest Arya, so they've you know, been there and they've done certain things. So we as disciples coming into this ministry really need to look up to the apostles of Great Millstone and see that they're moved by the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, so that they can keep this tradition of feeding the flock continuing. And with that, I want to give all honor and praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone for putting in this work and this effort that they've done so they could push out this word and feed the sheep of Yahushai. Shalom.